Devin Archer, who is Hunter Biden's close business associate, has testified that there was no proof that Joe Biden directly benefited from Hunter Biden's deals, and that Hunter was not only that, but he was actually trying to sell the illusion that he had access to his dad by getting his dad to get on phone calls to say hi to these people. But the bottom line is, and James Comer, who, to put it mildly, as head of the oversight committee in the House, is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's been saying, "Oh, well, we're sure hope we're going to find that smoking gun." Meanwhile, one of his witnesses they couldn't find, and the whole thing has just turned into a joke. So, is the right finally ready to let go of this Hunter Biden thing and focus on things that matter? What say you, Carrie Sheffield?
Well, there's Hunter Biden generally, and then there's the Devin Archer thing. So I can talk about Hunter first and then Devin Archer. But in terms of Hunter Biden generally, I mean, the fact that his plea deal fell apart, you're going to still see more of that. And then also there is the fact that the Hunter Biden laptop story was determinative, according to various studies. It would have been determinative in the 2020 election. And the fact that Twitter and media companies suppressed that story is significant. So I don't think it should just go away with the magical wand. I think it gets to many deep, systemic, chronic problems of media bias against stories that are important, that needs to be heard about how Hunter Biden has, peddled access. So I think the fact also that, the Devin Archer situation, my understanding is that there was a gap in the income tax for Joe Biden of about $5 million. And that Devin Archer, as I understand it, testified that Joe Biden did receive some money. I believe it was from Burisma or some type of Ukrainian business deal, that there was money that was given to Joe Biden. So I think that is significant, and that should warrant more investigation. Don't you?
Well, again, I have never heard of Joe Biden receiving this money. And so that's a new one to me. But I will simply say, Joe Biden is a modest man. He lives a modest life. He doesn't have fancy homes. I mean, he has an old Corvette. So if all this money is going to him, I don't know what the heck he's doing with it, because it sure isn't showing up in his lifestyle. And again, as far as Hunter goes, look, I'm making no excuses for Hunter. And Joe probably, or the president probably, has been a little careless and a little lackluster. But I think we should also remember that when a lot of this stuff with Hunter was going on, Joe's other son, Beau, was dying of cancer. So he had some distractions, to put it mildly, to deal with. And it was too bad, because Beau was the good son. If he had to lose one, that was a really sad one to lose. And Hunter is a pathetic drug addict. And yes, he's peddled the Biden name and, done cocaine off the butts of hookers and all that stuff. I'm not making any apologies for the guy. He's a sad story. But the bottom line is, there is no proof that Joe Biden directly benefited from any of Hunter Biden's business deals. That's what I wish Comer and the rest of his House buddies would let go of. But I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, well, I do think that $5 million payment to Biden should be investigated further. And there is also evidence that the $5 million to Joe Biden. And then there's also the fact that there's evidence that Hunter Biden paid quite a few of Joe Biden's bills. And there's evidence of that. Well, where was Hunter getting this money? From peddling off the Joe Biden name. So it became a circular loop. And I think those are worth looking into it. And that's the ironic thing. Donald Trump Jr. said that if I did a fraction of the things that Hunter Biden did, my father would put me in Guantanamo Bay, and that is not the case with Hunter Biden.
What about Jared Kushner? I mean, Hunter Biden pales in comparison to him.
We can disagree on that. Also, it's not his father, but his father had his own challenges. But the Hunter Biden situation, and also the fact that he refused to acknowledge his own granddaughter. And I thought Maureen Dowd had a wonderful column about it. I don't think it's the last that we've seen of Hunter Biden. And I agree with you, though, Dave, the focus should be on how this affects the presidency, and the fact that, look, I have compassion actually on Hunter for, as a drug addict, people who have addictions, they need treatment. Addiction is a disease. But as far as enabling an addict, that's a big problem. And allowing an addict to use your name and giving you kickbacks, to me, that's a red flag, but we'll see.